Welcome, race fans, to Richmond, Virginia for the 2001 Pontiac Excitement 400. 43 of Stock Car's best come to tackle this 75th mile D-shaped oval here in the heart of Richmond, Virginia. This is the final race of the short track stretch in the 2001 season that started all the way back at Denver 3 weeks ago. Richmond's a very unique track in the sense that the drivers off turn 4 will be able to gas up better than they did in turn 2. And they'll be able to brake a lot later in turn 1 than they're able to in turn 3. Going in each corner and exiting each corner is not going to be the same, and if the drivers think that, they're going to have a long day ahead. Let's get down track side so we can show you the Nesquik notables. Ryan Newman claims the pole today at Richmond. He has a fast Penske Ford and looks to capitalize on the horsepower. A lawsuit between Roush Racing and sponsor John Deere sees the sponsor part from Roush Racing and Kurt Busch mid-season. Busch picks up new sponsorship from Irwin Tools, and it has not stopped him in the title pursuit, sitting second here today. Rumors have been stirring about Jason Leffler's future with the MB236 team, as Mars is unsure if they will re-sign at the end of their contract in late 2002, and while that's a far away from 2001, his career is uncertain. Jeff Gordon comes into Richmond today to continue making ground in the point standings. Had a couple of bad races to open the season, but as of late, it's back to the Jeff Gordon we all know. Joe Gibbs Racing opened up a third team for Ernie Irvan, who is back after a scary crash in 1999 that sidelined him for the rest of the season and the entire 2000 season. But he's back and making his return race at Richmond in some pretty powerful equipment. Points leader and last week's winner, Dale Jr., looking to get one thing out of Richmond today. A solid top 5, and that will take the 8 and make him the continued points leader. A driver change sees Kenny Wallace take over the 43 for Petty Enterprises. John Andretti moves to the 41, and a slightly altered livery for Kenny to celebrate the new pairing. Wallace looks to have a good day today and gain points as he was the highest Dodge in qualifying today. Jeremy Mayfield with an amazing qualifying run, his best start of the season. Let's see if he can turn this into his best finish of the season. Ricky Hendrick making his Showdown debut. Had a decent qualifying effort, but today is all about getting the experience he needs. We'll see what he does today. John Andretti makes himself at home in the number 41 Chip Ganassi Target Dodge. This should be a step up in team, but in terms of driver, this is a step down, as Andretti has had a horrible season so far, hence why the driver swap was made. Dave Blaney finally gets his season back on track after a string of DNFs that threw him back in the point standings. It'll be an up and down race for them. In a press conference today before the race, Bill Davis announced his displeasure with Dodge, saying, quote, "They just aren't giving us the support we know we deserve. Instead, they're helping teams that run lower than us on average and get better instead of pushing the teams that actually perform to win." Davis is not happy with Dodge at this moment in time. Rusty Wallace is another driver getting his season back on track. Currently, he sits almost last in the point standings out of the drivers who have made all the races this season, looking to have a better race than this qualifying effort, but he may be able to do it. Driver Samantha Rodriguez finally helps Don Levy Racing start their first race in over 2 years. They may be in the race, but now they have to run the mile. Now that we know the notables who made the race, let's look at some drivers that did not make the race. Kyle Petty, Amelia in the number 70 Pontiac, Wally Dallenbach, Robbie Gordon, Lewis, Jeff Purvis, Warlock, Mike Wallace, Brett Bodine, and Robert Presley in the number 77 Jasper Ford. And with the pre-race festivities out of the way, let's go down trackside for the command. Drivers, start your engines. And as the cars roll off, let's take a look at our starting lineup. In row 1, we have Ryan Newman getting his first ever career pole and Kurt Busch to his outside. In row 2, we have Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt. In row 3, we have Bobby Labonte and Jason Leffler. Back in row 4, Jeff Gordon and Johnny Benson Jr. with a strong qualifying effort. Back in row 5, Ernie Irvan and Jeff Burton. Another row back, Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Back in row 7, Bill Elliott and Kenny Wallace in a new team. Back in row 8, Jeremy Mayfield and Dale Jarrett. Row 9, Mark Martin and Ricky Hendrick making his first ever Showdown start. Row 10, Toast making her first ever Showdown start, and Matt Kenseth. Row 11 sees Adam Petty and Jerry Nadeau to his outside. Row 12, Todd Bodine and Jerry Nadeau. Back in row 13, Terry Labonte and Casey Atwood. Row 14, Jimmy Spencer and John Andretti. Back in row 15, Elliott Sadler and Bobby Hamilton. Row 16, Dave Blaney and Jack Sprague. Row 17, Ward Burton and Christian Fittipaldi. Row 18, Rusty Wallace and Sterling Marlin. Row 19 sees Mike Skinner and Steve Park. Back in row 20, David Green and Michael Waltrip. Row 21, Rich Bickle and Samantha Rodriguez. And rounding out the field in row 22 is Darrell Waltrip in the 2001 Victory Tour. And as the cars come off turn 4, we get ready to go green flag racing here at Richmond. And Ryan Newman's going to lead him down in turn 1 there. Kurt Busch immediately falling back. Here comes Tony Stewart up to second. Bobby Labonte up to third. And so far the field's throwing himself out on a crash all the way in the back. Ricky Hendrick, Sterling Marlin, David Green maybe, as we're back green. Anyway, 4 cars were involved there. And Ryan Newman continuing an early dominance, and right as I say that, the 0-2 around off the nose of the 20. And back under caution we are. And Tony Stewart, new race leader here. Jeff Gordon now goes up to third. Labonte up to second due to that. And this race is once again getting single file. You see a car retire to the garage. And Bobby Labonte, very good on the short track stretch here of the season. You're looking for a win. He's going to have to get around his teammate to do it. And there he goes, not going to be able to do it. Now it's single file because of all the lap cars, and Steve Park around the inside wall. Huge hit. And Stewart almost laps the 90, but the 90 will stay on the lead lap. As we go back green, it's over for Labonte. If he can't clear the 98, he's not going to be able to. White flag is in the air. He doesn't have enough time. He's going to have to send it. He doesn't. Stewart wins at Richmond. Tony Stewart wins in a General Motors dominated season, continuing that trend. And after Richmond today, let's take a look at your point standings. Dale Earnhardt Jr. still your points leader 2 weeks in a row now. Dale Earnhardt back in second. Father-son duo, top of the point standings. Bobby Labonte making his way up in that Joe Gibbs race in Pontiac, up in third. Dropping fourth, Michael Waltrip. The Earnhardt Incorporated machine just has not had a good season after Daytona. Another driver, not a good season after the second race of this year at Las Vegas, Steve Park, also dropping through the point standings. Tony Stewart in the Joe Gibbs race in Pontiac, today's winner. After that, Jeff Gordon continuing that championship climb for Hendrick Motorsports. Rookie Jason Leffler in that MB2 Motorsports Pontiac also behind there. Behind him is Bill Elliott, most popular driver 15 times in his own Ford. Bobby Hamilton in the number 4 Morgan McClure Pontiac, staying stagnant over the last couple weeks in the point standings. Adam Petty dropping a spot in the point standings in that Petty Enterprise Dodge. Behind him in another Petty Enterprise Dodge, Kenny Wallace after the team switch. Right behind him now, Petty Enterprise making great out in the point standings. Behind them, the Robert Yates Racing Ford of Ricky Rudd. Under them, another Ford, this time Roush Racing's Mark Martin. Another Robert Yates Racing Ford, Dale Jarrett. Those 2 cars doing very well in the point standings this year. Johnny Benson, another MB2 Pontiac. Under him, Amelia in the TriStar Motorsports Pontiac did not make this race, but is still in the top 20 in points. Jeff Burton in another Roush Racing Ford underneath her. And another Roush Racing Ford right underneath him, Kurt Busch, another rookie, finally cracks the top 20 in points. And Jerry Day Nadeau, solid running out here today, finally cracks the top 20 in points. And that's going to do it here today from Richmond. Nice Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2. Bobby Labonte almost made it an exciting finish, but just wasn't able to clear the 98 in time and didn't have enough time to be able to generate a run. If he had, maybe he'd be in victory lane right now. But Tony Stewart takes the win today. And next week we'll be going to race 6 of the season. And we reach the midway point of the 2001 Showdown season.